Is it worth getting a sponsor? Well, only if you want to stay clean and sober. Otherwise, don't bother. And how do you get one? It's pretty simple. You go to the first AA meeting, don't stay there and say, well, I want that guy because he's got a Cadillac and that guy's got a Chevy that I like, or that guy drives a Ford, or he owns a building, all that bullshit us alcoholics do, or addicts. The way to get a sponsor is at the end of the meeting, when they say, are there any announcements for the good of NA or good of AA, whatever, CA, wherever you're at, put your hand up and say, my name's Jim. I'm an alcoholic. Is there anybody willing to sponsor me? That's how you get a sponsor. You don't sneak around looking through the windows like we used to do in our previous life and try to get the perfect sponsor. You ask generally, and somebody who's got the time and wants to do it will come up to you and say, hey, I don't mind being your sponsor for now. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's how you get a sponsor. You don't, this whole thing of interviewing 200 or 300 members of AA or NA to decide who will be the perfect sponsor. You'll be drug and using long before you get the perfect sponsor. Another thing about sponsors, I remember I was in this meeting and this lady said to me, she said, Jim, do you have a sponsor? Her name was Joyce Waters, deceased now, so I can use her name. But she said, Jim, do you have a sponsor? And I said, no. She turned to this other guy, Daryl, and said, Daryl, be his sponsor. And that's how I got my first sponsor. Well, I find out years later from Daryl, and we're still friends, is that he got there the week before I did. So this old bullshit about you need 2 years or 5 years or 25 years to be a sponsor is crazy, because what happens is you'll outgrow that sponsor and you'll get another sponsor. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but usually that's what happens. Or your sponsor's an asshole, so you fire him, same as he can fire you if you don't listen to him. So there's lots of value in the sponsor, because it gives you someone, gives you a friend, but a friend that'll tell you like it is. And if they're not willing to do that, you know, I'll tell you a story about one guy that asked me to sponsor him. And he said, Jim, would you be my sponsor? I said, no. He said, what do you mean no? You can't say no. I said, sure I can say no. I said, you won't listen to any goddamn thing anybody tells you. So why would I waste my time sponsoring you? I think that man's got 8 years now because he had a resentment against me, and that got him sober. So you never know how the sponsorship works. But get out there, ask for a sponsor, try your hardest, do what they say. If you don't like it, go find a different one. That's my thoughts on sponsorship.